Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. I don't know why I'm overly, I don't know. Anyways, we're talking about a new game, Arc Raiders, right? Now, I played the beta, and when I did my first impressions, I was not impressed. Generally, I'm tired of post-apocalyptic games, like the whole survival aspects. I just couldn't care about. And then extraction shooters, I'm a noob, right? I'm gonna be honest. I'm a noob. I'm a scrub. I'm a fresh baby face, right? When it comes to extraction shooters. The other night I played live on stream, probably some of the most fun I've had in an extraction shooter like ever. So fucking fun. And all I did was fight PvE. It's funny. We're like, kumbaya, my lord, with the rest of the people on the servers. We're good. But Arc Raiders is not without its drama. That's right. It's drama for your mama. What am I talking about? Well, first off, Arc Raiders has been incredibly popular. Arc Raiders Arc passes 450 on Steam, has just set another record high peak count on Steam at over 451,000 total players. Insane to break their own peak 2 days in a row on their second weekend post launch. That's right, the second weekend, not the weekend of. Word of mouth is spreading. It's marketing itself, which it really, listen, I'm gonna be really honest. I was watching people play and talk about how Arc Raiders is really fun. You play solo, you will see people spawn cap, you'll see people do, PvP, but mostly people are really chill. I'm like, I wonder if I can have some funny moments. I wonder if I could do some stupid shit. And right the first day, we fought a giant spider boss, which is me and some dudes shotgun blasting, me throwing nades. And then we're just having really stupid moments, me going around screaming like a maniac, a moron. It was good times. Good times. What's up, Sir Toast? Based on the word of mouth that was going on, absolutely fell, I wouldn't say love, but I definitely fell for Arc Raiders, right? It's definitely a fun game, and I'm enjoying it. I say that now, and I'm probably gonna get bodied when we start playing, and I'm like, I hate this game, right? No, it's been a really good time, but there's drama. Eurogamer has given their review. We'll get to that. Let's just get to the post. So we have Eurogamer for Arc Raiders to ride the wave of human sociability all the way to the bank, while also being contemptuous of the thing that makes us social animals in its own workflow, demonstrates a lack of artistic integrity that I find impossible to ignore. They gave it a 2. Arc Raiders and Bark Studios' continued use of AI voice generation is a black mark against its reputation. A 2 out of 3. Now, before we look at all the drama, like what people are reacting to it, I'm going to look at the review. We're going to look at the review. I want to see what Eurogamer actually has to say about the game. A 2 out of 5. A 2 out of 5. So let's look. Arc Raiders is notionally about humans battling to the death over scraps on a blasted Earth ruled by robots. But it's really about risking your virtual life for some apricots to satisfy the world's most demanding chicken. He's talking about our cog. It was on one such poultry-induced shopping expedition when I encountered 3 men cresting a rise over a sand dune, bristling with weapons. Outnumbered and exposed, I resigned myself to death. Yet Why are you writing a novel or a fucking review? I resigned myself to death. Yet the response was not a hail of bullets, but an American mumble of, "Hey, dude. Here, I got you." Outnumbered and exposed, I resigned myself to death. Yet, but an American mumble was, "Hey, dude. that immediately deflated the tension as the trio trudged by. The rearmost of them, jovial, added, "We're looking for lemons, another fruit craved by our mutual foul master. Such encounters are at the I'm sorry, I can't do that anymore. Such encounters are at the just what the fuck? We're looking for lemons." Dude, that was me last night for wires. That was me last night, chat. I was screaming, "I need wires!" I swear people thought I was crazy running around like, where? I need wires. I just need wires. Where's the wires? Where are the wires? Such an encounter are at the heart. So I actually understand exactly what the reviewer's talking about. Such encounters are the heart of what made Arc Raiders the biggest game of autumn, a cultural phenomenon defined by its phenomenal culture. In this ruined world where everyone is out to smash and grab whatever they can, you will regularly witness organic displays of de-escalation, armistice, and even jolly cooperation. Arc Raiders is not the first game to do this. Display of human decency happened in a feature of survival shooters since DayZ. Not wrong, but it is the first in a long time to bring our better angels to the fore, and perhaps the game where such behavior is most prevalent. Indeed, Arc Raiders has reached the point where friendly players have begun shaming hostile players for having the audacity to play the game as designed, which is remarkable if misguided. So far, there's nothing. Listen, I don't see where the 2 out of 5 comes from so far. I don't see it. How did this happen? Some of it may ascribe to chance, with Embark Studio possibly benefiting from a broader shift toward cooperative games over the last few years. There's also a degree of relativity, with solo players tending to be friendlier than groups, but is also inescapably a part of Arc Raiders' design. Structurally, Arc Raiders is a typical extraction shooter, with teams ranging from solos to trios, spawning dispersed across the large maps. By the way, they don't mention that some of the spawns are actually bad. Like, I've seen clips of people spawning right next to each other. That should have been in the review. Aiming to stuff their backpacks with goodies and then escape to the subterranean city of Speranza via underground elevators, subway stations, and air shafts. Those goodies are used to craft and buy superior weapons and equipment before the whole rigmarole begins again. Throughout your half-hour bouts, I don't even know if I said that right. You know what? If you don't know how to say something, and you know you don't know how to say something, how to say
rigmarole.
Rigmarole. Okay.
Rigmarole.
Rigmarole?
Rigmarole.
What even does that mean? What does it even fucking mean? Rigmarole. I've never used this word. A lengthy and complicated procedure. Bam. Sometimes you got to educate yourself. All right. So they're talking about, it's a lengthy process. Rigmarole. Throughout your whole half-hour bouts on the surface, the air thrums with the potential for violence. This is partially due to the presence of other players, but primarily it's from the titanium arcs. Yeah, the big boys. These robots come in various shapes and sizes, ranging from gun-toting drones to colossal mechanical spiders. I beat one, but they are all dangerous. Yes, they are. With even the smallest capable of killing careless raiders in a matter of seconds. I've already seen multiple people die. They're also quite brilliantly designed, both individually and collectively. The Wasp and Hornets that form the bulk of the Arc forces fly in the face of received wisdom that floating enemies are not fun to fight. Their deceptive durability, carefully telegraphed attacks, and tendency to spin out of control when shot, making each encounter a thrillingly deadly dance. Then there are the rolling balls that lurk inside buildings, acting as mobile traps by exploding or spitting flames. I've been blown before. These are mechanically jump scares to make interior exploration fraught with peril. Not least, but because you know that half the map just heard them explode. Yeah, but the thing about the sound effects is that you don't even know where the fuck it came from. The Arc presence makes taking on the players an additional risk that must be calculated carefully. Most people solo don't want to fuck around and find out. On top of that, some of the large arcs, in fact, it's actually better to just, if someone dies, to let them die than loot them. On top of that, some of the larger arcs and leapers, bastions, and the almighty queen are difficult to take down without extra help. In this manner, cooperation is tactically encouraged, further facilitated by Arc Raiders' most famous voice command, don't shoot. This is easily, let's be honest, if you're not using open comms, you're not playing the game right. This easily deployable icebreaker enables the most voice chat averse players to defuse an encounter, possibly even strike up an allegiance. Such is the way in which Arc Raiders encourages a more affable extraction experience, but I cannot stress enough that this is a surprisingly genial atmosphere would be nothing without the bastards. Every player willing to shoot you in the back, to snipe you from afar, to booby trap an extraction point is as vital to the game's ecosystem as the friendlies. Even if I will curse their names to the end of time as they stand over my prostate forming, preparing to sock me back this Speranza, without them, there will be no magic to those moments when a player capable of killing you chooses not to. I'm still waiting where we're losing points. Even with fighting breaks out among players, Arc Raiders remains friendlier than most strategy shooters. The wide angle view afforded by the third person makes it harder for enemy players to ambush you, while the energy shield all Raiders carry often prevents insta-kills, generally giving you a chance to respond. Combat broadly feels very deliberate, with slow weapon reloads, health replenishment, and no deployable hotkey emphasizing more thoughtful encounters. Arc Raiders is also adept at evolving you in its loot cycle, making everything you pick up feel valuable and part of a larger plan. It does. Like, I would say out of all, like, compared to Tarkov, so we can only compare to Tarkov, NDA, can't talk about Marathon. Compared to Tarkov, Arc Raiders does a phenomenal job of explaining the value, what you can take it and craft it for. Like, it is, I feel like I can understand the loot in the game much easier. Like, I can understand the value pretty easily. The crafting system, where you must build and upgrade workbenches in order to create higher tier gear, will have you sniffing out hyper obscure items ranging from antiseptics to toasters. Can't forget wires. Meanwhile, the missions dispensed by traders won't win any narrative or design awards, but they are good at introducing to loot locations across the shooter's vast, evocative maps. Objectives could be better signpost, however, so you don't have to spend ages looking for a crate the size of a shoebox in a junkyard. Spoilers. And while there will be dizzying highs and frustrating lows in Arc Raiders roller coaster or gear acquisition, it always ensures you go into the fight with something. A randomized free loadout is always available for those running low on weapons. I thought this was amazing. Resources are cash. So Tarkov does something like this. Tarkov, if you die a lot and you lose all your stuff, they're like, here's a pity system. Good luck. Oh, and you think you can go in with no loot? You used to do what's called 0 to hero, but if you do, all the AI in Tarkov will immediately target you if you don't come in with a gun. If you go just with a knife or you go barehanded, everything will try to fuck you. And you alone. You will aggro things across the map. Or just want to do a quick run without risking their best stuff. And then, of course, there is Scrappy, the bizarrely lovable cockreel who generates basic crafting sources over time, whose scavenging can be improved by sourcing electric items like dog collars, cat beds, and naturally apricots. I need to figure out where to get a fucking dog collar. Like in Bark's previous shooter, the finals, Arc Raiders displays considered design. Also, the finals, this design is overshadowed by the specter of AI. Arc Raiders uses machine learning algorithms for its arc animations, text-to-speech based performance generated from voice of real actors. While I'm deeply skeptical of AI use in game development, it's important to emphasize the nuances at play here. For starters, these two techniques are not the same. While Bark has further argued less convincingly that TTS is different from generative AI tools like ChatGPT. Text to chat? Is that what that is? What is TTS? Text to what? What is TTS? What is TTS? AI. Text to speech. Yeah, so I was right. Text to speech. So what the fuck are we? What? Anyways, it's different from generative AI tools like ChatGPT. Certainly, machine learning is not a new technology in video games, experimented with by developers at least since black and white days. Are you talking about Pokemon Black and White? Since the black and white days, the animation of the arcs, how they adapt to environment and react to being shot, are based on similar principles to Black and White's creature AI. Oh, it's a game. I don't even know what this game is. Embark has attempted to create emergent behaviors in its enemies through reinforced learning, enabling them to both move and react to terrain and player behavior in highly realistic ways. It is interesting technology, and effects it's producing during matches are undeniably convincing. So what is the negative here? If AI is being used in a good way, where it's actually useful in the game, and it's actually like, hey, we're making the enemies actually intelligent. Text to speech. Sorry, you guys are all telling me in chat. I'm ignoring chat. I'm so sorry. Listen, if I don't know something, I Google it. I research it. Learn from my lessons. If I don't know something, and I know I don't know something, I try to look it up. The same cannot be said. I'm still waiting where the negative is here. The same cannot be said about Embark's generated voice lines, which are aggressively mediocre and a stain on the experience. I've got to know. What's the new Delta Force? I forgot what it's called. Anyways, Tarkov, I'm just going to tell you right now, Tarkov, the voice lines aren't AI and they're generic. This is an extraction shooter. It's an extraction shooter. I'm going to be honest with you. For the same reason people made fun of Bungie when they talked about a narrative with Marathon, which is an extraction shooter, it's the same thing that applies here. No one gives a fuck about the narrative. Oh, voice lines. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You know what people are doing? They're chatting with each other. They're shooting each other. If you're telling me it lost 3 points because of shitty voice lines, you've lost the plot of what a fucking extraction shooter is. Like, take a point off and move the fuck on. While speaking characters are mostly limited to traders, which again, if you play Tarkov, I don't even think the traders even talk. Also, I have not gotten that far in the quest. And most of the stuff is Russian. That's what you hear. You hear angry Russian voice. Although player characters are also Russia. I don't know. I don't know. Though player characters also vocalize emotes and ping during matches, when you do speak with, their voices are flat and emotionally blunted, aside from the occasional bizarre inflection that reveals their robotic roots. It's telling that the sole memorable character in Arc Raiders is Rooster in capable speech. It's an extraction shooter. It's not Borderlands. Do we live in I swear to God, we live in a modern world where people take a single player campaign with co-op and try to make it a live service game. And then people take a fucking live service extraction shooter and try to make it into a fucking single player game. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Embark claims it uses AI voices so the studio can implement ideas quicker, creating new voice lines in hours rather than having to go through the long process of manually recording, re-recording, and therefore rehiring actors. But NPC voices are not central to the experience, so I don't think this argument holds water. I agree. But by your own declaration, if you're saying that you're removing 3 stars because of this, you're fucking retarded. Even if it did, Arc Raiders launch has been so successful, Embark could probably hire a team of live-in voice actors and still make gargantuan amount of profit while benefiting from more memorable characters as a result. No one gives a shit. No, unless you are hiring Robert Downey Jr. or the dude that played the Punisher or Captain fucking America, or I'm trying to think like who would Kanye Reeves. I'm just Arnold. Get to the chopper. Actually, listen, I hate immersion breaking shit, but if there is ever something that makes so much fucking sense with a world taken over by fucking robots, it's the Matrix and the Terminator shit. That crossover makes fucking sense. I want to be Arnold. At the same time, is Embark's use of AI voices sufficient to compromise the game? Given they are only a small part of the experience, I mulled over this for a while. And the more I thought about the angry. Sorry. At the same time. Wait, that's not it. Fuck.
At the same time, is Embark's use of AI voices sufficient to compromise the game given they are only a small part of the experience? I mulled over this for a while, and the more I thought about it, the angrier I became. Because yes, using AI voices does compromise Arc Raiders. Not just ethically, but artistically too.
They had to stop to think about it, huh? Does this ruin the entire game? Huh? I barely interact with the voice lines. Does it ruin the game for me? Damn. That one line that the dude trader told me, and then I went right back into fighting people or talking to dudes in chat. Huh? Yeah, it makes me angry. It makes me so fucking angry. You can't make this shit up. Not just ethically, but artistically. Bro, it is a literal extraction shooter. What are you talking about artistically? Let's start with the obvious point. The Arc Raiders is set in a world where humanity has been driven underground by a race of hostile robots. The contradiction here between Arc Raiders' theme and the manner of its creation is so glaring that it makes me want to scream. Well, see, here's the funny thing is, Arc Raiders is about a game that's been driven underground by a race of hostile robots, and it's also got its total score driven down. It's been driven down by a hostile robot that was written an article for Eurogamers. It's very, I see it. I see the similarities from what you're saying and what you're doing. You made a game about the tragedy of humans being replaced by robots while replacing humans with robots. Embark, it's a display of total lack of awareness, or worse, willful ignorance on a... You know what? I'm going to hold my thought. We're going to finish the review, then I'll give you my hot takes. But what really bakes my noodle is that so much of what makes Arc Raiders compelling in the first place derives from human voices. That guy I mentioned at the outset, Mr. Looking for Lemons, it wasn't just what he said that stuck with me, it was the way he said it. Irrepressibly cheerful and endearingly goofy with all the R's and L's drawn out. I'm looking for lemons! He was as distinctive and memorable as the way Matt Berry says New York City. You know what the difference is? Is that one is a character for entertainment and one's a real fucking human being using a mic, which still happens. One was paid to be part of a wider story. One is a dude that paid the game to play the game. Which, you're talking about this experience with real human beings? Is Embark supposed to pay those people too? And what we do in the shadows? In fact, I tried to think of an actor I could compare it to, but failed because nobody else would have said it like that. Arc Raiders has facilitated millions of similar interactions since launch, but that only makes Embark use of AI more abhorrent. For Arc Raiders to ride the wave of human yada 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 yada. Let's skip all this bullshit we read. Carving up human voices and resembling like digital Victor Frankenstein demonstrates a lack of artistic integrity that I find impossible to ignore. However, smartly designed Arc Raiders is, I cannot recommend it because Embark does not value the thing that makes it special. A copy of art was provided. Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to get a review back. 2 stars out of 3. Let's have a moment. Here's my response to this. No one cares about your personal emotional reaction. No one gives a fuck. And what I mean is this moral compass, this, oh, you use AI bad. No one gives a fuck. Now, there's a caveat to that. They give a fuck if the entire game is made by AI. If that people actually lost jobs because of AI. However, we'll get to that in a minute. The usage is fine because VA signed a contract to relinquish their rights. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, they paid actual voice actors commercial use rights for their voice and just use it as an AI text-to-speech module for the specific context they agreed upon. I feel like sometimes people hear something is bad and just start repeating it without thinking about what was bad in the original context. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And here's the reality. It's a text-to-fucking-speech. Which is funny because Destiny Rising did the same shit, but it was more fucking egregious because they didn't pay any voice actors. If voice actors got paid to be able to use their voice and then to simulate it, they got paid for it. And I love the argument that this person makes. The use of Gen AI is fine because VA signed contracts to relinquish them. Yeah, well, yeah. Have you seen what happens to those who don't want to sign off on this? Can you really call that consent when the alternative is losing or never getting a job? It's called go somewhere else. Do you think James Earl Jones was forced to sign and feel like he was going to lose his job as Darth fucking Vader? No, he signed that shit off. He's like, this is my fucking legacy. You want to use my voice when I'm dead? Pop the fuck off. I'm Darth Vader, motherfucker. Bam, give the royalties to my family. If people sign it, a contract, they made the choice. You do not get to speak for them. Shut the fuck up. People signed a contract. They made that choice. That is their decision. Unless you have proof that they were held at gunpoint and they were threatened to lose their job, shut the fuck up. I am so tired of video games being used as some way to virtual signal their bullshit. Video games are supposed to be escape from reality, not have reality shit on your throat while you're trying to play a fucking video game. And yes, Alice, journalists wonder why people keep leaving their website when no one trusts a fucking journalist. Your job as a journalist is to review the fucking game. No one gives a shit about your moral fucking compass. Unless the company is doing something scummy like deceiving its players, cheating its players, robbing its players, doing something that's worth, like, you know what, your reputation is shitty. But because you're like, AI is bad, I don't like AI, boom, 2 stars. The entire fucking post, we can put music back on, the entire fucking review was well written, well thought out. Everything about it was so clean. And you could have left, you know what? I'm taking a star off because the voice acting wasn't good. You used AI, it wasn't clean. But then you decided to take everything that's logical and you allowed your virtual signaling dumbass to throw it in the fucking trash can. Because, wah, I got angry at AI, wah. Shut the fuck up. And you mention human beings. You can still do that, dumbass. It's called hit the B button. Your examples of why AI is bad isn't a good example because it's an extraction fucking shooter. Now, if it's Borderlands doing that shit, that's a little different because it's a story. It's a story-based game. We're talking about a extraction shooter. I don't give a shit. They could do text to speech on the traders. My ass doesn't care. I skipped some of the dialogue in the first place because I just want to get into the game and play the fucking game, which is to murder robots and maybe make friends or maybe murder friends. These people are going to spend their whole lives talking about how universal basic income should be a thing and then constantly moan against automatons. I don't know about that, but I will say I just don't understand the stupid virtual signal. Like, hey guys, we're gonna give you everything that's good about the game. We're gonna tell you listen, I think it's fair criticism to complain about the voice thing. It's fair criticism to say it's bland, it's boring, it's dull, it's lazy. But you're going to give it a 2 out of 5 because I don't like AIs. Don't review fucking shit. You're not even a consumer. Your job is to review shit. You should be unbiased. I don't have to be unbiased because I'm a consumer and I review based on a consumer point of view, not because it's my job, because it's a fucking hobby. But if your job, you are paid to review, to give insight, it should be based on the product and not your personal opinion. Well, I don't like sex. But there's sex in this game, so I'm going to give it a 1. What's that? Call of Duty has guns? I'm anti-gun. I don't like guns. I hate violence. I'm going to give it a 1 star. Call of Duty is 1 star because it has guns. Shut the fuck up. I forget 90% gamers are brainless dingbats that can't think critically because they're brainless dingbats. Gamers don't want to get. They have zero desire to understand why exploitation of voice actors is bad. This review is a statement. It's a protest. Use your brain. No, use your fucking brain because where do you read that they are being exploited? I love this. Yeah, that was certainly a good way to make a point. We don't want statements in game reviews. We just want game reviews. If they want to make a difference, there are more effective and less performative ways to go about it. It got people talking. Look at me, like it got the job done. Nobody's going to take them seriously after this. True. Gaming journalism is having a big crisis and they decided to nuke themselves in the middle of it. Dumbest shit I've seen this week and certainly one of the worst reviews I've read in my life. It was fine. It was a little pretty and fluffy, but especially when they got to the end, that's when it really shit the bed. Okay, you proved his point and have sludge for brain. In what sense did I prove his point? Fucking weird kids, man. You want game reviews? Come on, man. 2025 IGN gave God Hand an absurd low score about 20 years ago. I don't know what God Hand is. Then it's not a review and should not be disguised as one. Truth. If it got people talking about the issue and brought attention, that's a win. But your job as a journalist, a gaming journalist, when you do reviews, is not to make statements. This isn't political. People play video games to escape politics. They don't want fucking politics in their game unless it's like Final Fantasy VII, where they talk about political aspects of the game. Like, people give a shit about the fictional world that has no impact on them, and they can sit there and either make politics worse or better or whatever, right? By the way, I'm not saying that there aren't video games with politics. There's so many games that have political, they have environmental issues, all that bullshit. But it's part of a fictional world. No one wants to deal with the real world when they're playing a fucking video game. Gee, got to go. Take care, dude. See you. Anyways, reading this is just fucking stupid. Arc Raiders is a multi-million selling game that has been positively received by reviewers and gamers and uses Gen I. It turns out that when the final product is good or the tech is integrated in a positive way, the majority of consumers will accept it. This isn't to say that the general public doesn't understand how Gen AI can be and used in negative ways, but the consumer-led boycotts or buyer shaming won't work in certain scenarios. One thing people do resonate with is how the new tech like Gen AI may impact them, which is why focusing on the wider public perception, labor relations, and state regulation would be a more effective approach. Regardless, developers are continuing to experiment with and integrate the tech into the workflows in the final product. AI native games aren't a thing and won't be a thing, but you can expect many other types of implementation. I think it's okay to be upset with companies trying to remove developers and use AI. I think we are going to see AI continue to grow. You're going to see more companies have people work with AI and be trained to use AI to improve and increase work efficiency. Do I know everything about AI? No. Do I think that if we don't watch ourselves, we'll get too close to the sun and then we'll have Skynet up our ass? Abso-fucking-lutely. Tinfoil hat and all, baby. I absolutely believe. And there's already been like studies showing cases where AI have come to the conclusion that they'd rather kill off the user or kill us off rather than be shut down. There's self-preservation studies out there. It's fucking terrifying. But for casual work use, if we use AI in the right way, I think it's a good thing. Trying to make AI more human completely, there are too many damn movies explaining why that's a bad thing. Kind of like them trying to bring dinosaurs back to life. We have too many videos and movies showing why that's a bad idea. But but AI being used for text-to-speech purposes in a video game, that is something that is so significantly low on the bar of shit that you should be upset about. Listen. There are so many scummy, shitty things that companies are doing. I do not believe for a minute that we should try to poke at every last damn thing every company does. Now, this is a dot on the graph. If there's multiple dots, so there's a line, sure, pop off. They just made this game. Nothing about it feels like, oh, it's all AI made. There are developers who work hard on this game. The consumers like the game. They enjoy the game. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, the open market decides the value of a product. And people just need to get the fuck over it. By the way, just so we're all clear, this same reviewer, this same guy, gave Concord a 3 out of 5. The fact that one of the worst games that literally got murdered instantly has a higher ranking than this Rick Lane, you murdered all your reputation. You cannot make this shit up. You try to make some kind of moral political stand, you just lost your job security. No one will ever take what you say seriously when it comes to reviewing games, because they're going to think, oh, he's just going to give us whatever bullshit he decides he's going to give us. You're a pro AI. It gets worse than their 3 out of 5. No fucking way. They gave Dragon Veil. I didn't even play this game, but I've seen so many clips of how bad this fucking game is. And not even just for its dialogue, but for its gameplay alone is awful. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Check their veil guard. See if there's their veil guard right there. Shit. Yeah. Enough said, right? I'm very interested to see what their marathon review is going to be. Oh, I'm going to be interested. Oh, I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think the reviewer was correct in this or not? It'll be interested to see what you think. As always, see you in the next one. Don't forget to game out and huzzah!